Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. Happy Monday. Always a bit better, isn't it, that Monday morning when you wake up when we've had a decent result or a decent performance over the weekend. And the point against Villa away from home, very, very respectable considering Villa haven't lost at Villa Park in the league since the beginning of this season, I believe. And we could have nicked it. We could have nicked it, in all honesty. But yeah, great result. And obviously, we did a little review show afterwards to sort of go through it and get your views and get your opinions on that game. But we've got over a week until our next game now, and obviously that also means just over a week until the transfer window closes. And no doubt we're going to be every day peppered with rumours. So we'll try and bring to you as many of the news stories and rumours as always, and give you our views on them as well. I think we're over about 50 or 60 players we've been linked to. We'll go through the list a bit later on in the week, but I've got 4 players to talk about today. So let's start with a non-league player. According to reports, West Ham and Spurs are both interested in signing young non-league defender Jack Taylor. The 19-year-old centre-half has come through the ranks at Sutton United's academy and began this season on loan at Hampton and Richmond Borough, where he shone in 23 appearances. So much so that Sutton decided to recall him, given how much he's impressed in the National League South. The defender is now a regular starter for Sutton. Reports understand that West Ham and Spurs have both been to see him, to watch Taylor in the last few weeks, such has been his progress. And both London clubs had scouts in place to see him win a player of the match display against for Sutton United, causing a big upset against high-flying York City recently. Taylor made 2 appearances for Sutton United in League 2 last year, but his stock has since risen following his development this year. In addition to Spurs and West Ham, apparently Crystal Palace, Charlton, Millwall, Peterborough have all been checking on the defender since before Christmas. There seems to be a lot of interest about Jack, and we've got 4. Well, we've got form. Look at someone like Jarrod Bowen and how he came through the ranks, and now he's an England international and the West Ham captain. You got to think it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Now, for me, he fits the profile of bringing in a 4th choice centre half. You're either going to bookend it, so it's either going to be someone like an Adam Webster from Brighton, who's towards the end of his career, or someone like Jack Taylor, who's learning his career earlier. And someone's like, what about Caelan Casey? Jack's already got league football under his belt and has been playing, non-league as well, which is a great, breeding ground for being up against burly centre forwards who are going to knock him about, and he's clearly thriving at the moment. So, it goes with our sort of MO in terms of looking for players who are sort of under the radar as well, particularly non-league. And we've got obviously the head of recruitment now, Carl McCauley, and I believe we've got a head of academy recruitment as well already in the club. So, look, he's not going to break the bank. But also he's not going to break. Yeah, some people will be slightly underwhelmed by it. But in terms of the position for the centre half, it's either him or Adam Webster type player for me. You either get someone at the beginning of their career who can develop and learn, but someone who's already got games under his belt, so he knows, how to play against men, basically. Someone like Caelan hasn't really had that experience, to be honest. Or you go for someone like Adam Webster, who's well experienced, who could just come in, do a job, and then sit on the bench for another 3 or 4 weeks. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with him, or whether we look to bring him in the summer, maybe. I don't know. I do not know. The rest are all forwards and development in terms of our forward position. Now, obviously, we were led to believe that Brian Brobby was at Aston Villa watching the game yesterday. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's what some journalists were reporting. But apparently, according to L'Equipe, the French newspaper, West Ham are in talks with the entourage of Nice striker Evan Guessand over a potential transfer. Nice are looking to sell him for around £25 million in the summer. But he could be someone we could bring in earlier if required. I really like Evan. I think he he just seems to. He's very good. He's very good. He's very versatile. He's very clinical. He's 23, so he's good age to further development as well. So it offers some real sort of long term value, and definitely has the potential to adapt to the Premier League's demands. Yeah, he's tall. He's quick. And could be a suitable candidate for our striking positions. Where I think Brian, for example, is more of a Antonio type, sort of build. Evan's a little bit taller, a little bit more elegant, maybe as well, but still quite strong. And for me, if there was a choice, I'd probably go for Evan over Brian, but I'll take either at the moment, to be honest. One player we could get, obviously, in the last week of the transfer window now, is Evan Ferguson. According to the Telegraph, West Ham have the advantage when it comes to Evan Ferguson because we have Graham Potter at the helm. The news outlet reported yesterday that Potter's previous work with Ferguson could provide the key and the upper hand. Wasn't the upper hand a sitcom with in the 90s? Where's that just come? Sorry, it's just my mind just wanders. But could provide the upper hand in their bid to sign the striker on loan. Potter is believed to be keen on the idea of a reunion with Evan and could make a move if he were to be made available for the remainder of the season. Brighton were going to be deciding this week whether he is available. They've always said from the beginning that a loan deal would be made available. They thought at the end of that he could benefit from going away and playing some first team football. I think it's basically they're keeping an eye on the fitness and return to fitness of Danny Welbeck, in all honesty. But if he's made available, I think we could have the upper hand. And if he were to be made available, Potter's connections could prove to be the difference in the race to sign the Irishman. But another name has cropped up and another blast from the past in terms of now that's what I call transfer rumours. It's not Youssef En-Nesyri. Don't worry. That'll probably be Friday, I'd imagine. It's Arthur Cabral. Now, he, according to Record in their print edition yesterday, he will be made available to sign for a bargain price of just £13 million. Now he's not a total package at all, but surely at £13 million, it seems a bit of a no-brainer to bring him in. He's 26. He's bagged over 130 career goals in just over 300 games for Palmeiras, Sporting Club, Basel, Fiorentina, and Benfica. He's very hard-working. He's got good movement. He's very cool and collected in front of goal. Good first touch. Very technically, very sound. He doesn't have a massive. He's not very quick, but he's very clinical, and he's got that intelligent movement and positioning, and able to find the pockets and find the holes and find the gaps, which you always need if you haven't got that sort of turn of pace, so to speak, in the Premier League. So signing him would be far from a sure thing, but it must be said that for 30 million quid, I don't think there's many better signings out there for that money, for in terms of pro rata to cost, and it's not as much of a risk, I think, because you get him for 13 million quid. He might have a decent season, bag some goals. You could sell him. He's still 20. It'd be 27, 28. You could still sell him and make your money back. 15 million, maybe a couple of million quid more. But the same way, he's available for everyone. He's not just available for West Ham. He's available for everyone. 30 million quid. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him move. But I'm interested to see where he goes to. And obviously, we were heavily linked with him during his time at Basel, and then he went to obviously Fiorentina, where he played against us in the final, the old Conference League final, I believe, if I remember correctly. And that's it, my friends. Just a little quick zoom round some of the rumours. Obviously, anything new, anything breaking, we'll bring to you as soon as possible. Waiting to see if there's any movement on Brian Brobby today. Let's be believe that the whole Todibo Juventus thing is a bit of a false story, partly because we don't technically own him yet. So how can you loan him if you don't own him technically yet? And obviously, we can't own him properly until we are safe from relegation. He's played the games. He's played the first sort of condition in terms of 5 games, whatever it was. But we need to stay up. So we're not officially up. We're not officially still in the Premier League next year. So that doesn't come into effect until, well, March, maybe February, March time. Hopefully, if we get a few more points. And at Hammer's headlines, we're going to talk about Benny, older Syed Ben Rahman, how he could benefit West Ham, and obviously the loan spells we'll talk about. And then we've got the Academy show later on, talking about all the players, the Academy players out on loan, as well as the 18s and 21s in action over the last week or so. So stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I'll speak to you in a couple of hours' time. Much love. Bye-bye.